Three S's all put together. Stories, standards, sex. And with the mention of sex, people's ears went up. What's he talking about early this morning? Well, Esther is responsible for this, and she will bail me out. Esther, Amma, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Esther.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to be here.
I follow your conversations on Twitter with Niade Clegg and all the other media people, because you're a really media person.
I am.
With Bernard and the guys at City FM,
Yes.
the people at Star.
Yes.
So it's good to see you
Thank you.
in the
Good
flesh.
to be here. Good to be here.
Good.
I was comparing roses. You were saying our
Yeah,
roses match.
yeah.
I know.
So we're having a
yours
fashion
is
moment.
bigger.
You're on point.
okay.
We love it.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
nice.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel roseless, but hey, no
You feel
problem.
roseless.
Yeah.
Feel
You
rosy
look
in your
dapper.
mind.
Okay.
Roses
Yeah.
physically.
Lots of roses in my head,
your mind.
and lots of sex and stories and standards too.
3 S's.
What's going on?
So this is a really powerful media communication summit called Reimagine. And it's taking place tomorrow, Wednesday, June 15th. Part one is called Vision Breakfast. And it's all women panelists with an all women audience. And so it's for really the media communications industry.
Okay.
If you're studying in the media, if you're a lecturer in the media, if you work in the media, this one is for you, that in the morning, Vision Breakfast. And we have from your sister station, Anita Erskine from
Nice.
Star.
Okay, great.
We have women like Nana Ama Ajimana-Santi from City, Nana
Yes.
Kosia Hansen from YFM. And it's really very straightforward. The 3 S's, story, standard, sex, those are the big things that are the heart of Ghana's media. And we're looking at, particularly for women, because the morning session, Vision Breakfast, is for women, what kinds of untold stories are out there that would actually enhance and expand the ways in which we do media in Ghana. Ghanaian women are 51% of the population. So shouldn't we be 50+% of Ghana's media conversation? And in what ways are we not, and how can we look to change that? So that's the first part. When we think about standards, we're asking the question, how do our standards reflect where we want to go in media? We all look at wanting to improve ourselves, wanting to be better, wanting to grow. How do those standards manifest in the media, and how can they change? We're also looking at, because we have educators as well as media people at Vision Breakfast, talking about the culture of standards when teaching media communications and how that then impacts the industry. So are you going to get the best here at GH1, knowing what is happening in the tertiary institutions where they're studying journalism? How does one thing impact the other? And then the third part is sex. The difficult, tough conversation, what I call the open, dirty secret, about the nature of transactional sex and what women sometimes have to go through, both in the industry and in studying, when it comes to the way sex is used as a barter for jobs, for promotion, all kinds of issues. And it's a conversation that needs to be had. We're going to have it tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So basically, we're looking at women kind of positioning,
Yes.
properly to take up their rightful positions, in these 3 areas that you talk about. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, partly that, and also there are women in wonderful positions. I'm looking at an amazing woman in a powerhouse position, but it's also recognizing the media's power to influence, and that women should be part of that power to influence, for sure.
Why has this conversation become necessary, and why at this time?
So I think the conversation has always been necessary. It's then about the willingness to bring the people together in order to actually have the conversation. And how do you do it in a way that engages all what I call the media stakeholders? So if you're studying media communications right now, you're a stakeholder in this industry because you want to play a role in it. If you're teaching media communications, you're a stakeholder. If you're working in it, you're a stakeholder. But also because of the power of your voices reaching the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people watching you, you have an influence and you have a power. How do we have untold stories better reflect that power? That's the first part. Change the conversation, which is the evening part. That's at Elisa Hotel at 6 p.m. And that features Kodri Yagson from Joy FM and Ben Avle from City FM. And Change of the Conversation is really straightforward. It's looking at how we deal with the issue of sex and the language of sex in the media and the power on those mics to influence how the public thinks about, talks about this particular issue. For example, when we talk about sexual assault or issues around rape, we often blame, shame, ridicule the girls and the women.
Yeah.
We'll talk about, hey, Charlie, this skirt, why was she going out in this skirt? These shoes, of course she was going to get raped wearing these shoes. There's a way in which we think about, speak about, and focus all the attention on women. Change the conversation is simply saying one thing. We have to engage men to stop rape. if you don't engage men in the conversation, if you don't think about the power and influence of men to influence other men, you can't change these horrific statistics. In Brongahafo, first 6 months of 2015, 280 girls, 280, aged 10 to 14 pregnant. And the stories when I was doing the research were all about teenage pregnancy. These little fast girls. Hey, who are their parents? What church do they go to? What kind of pastors
Without
do
any
they have?
focus on the people who were doing the raping or making the women pregnant.
None. And
Okay.
even in today's Daily Graphic, there's a superintendent of prisons, Mr. Bisilki, in an opinion piece, who writes about the huge numbers of men in jail at Sekondi for defilement. And he's asking defilement, any lessons for men? But he also talks about it in, you have to make sure, get a birth certificate, find out the young lady's age. We're saying there's other ways to think about this from the media's point of view.
And what would be one of those other ways?
For example, consent classes for boys and Ghanaian boys and men.
So if she
How
says
do-
no, she means no.
Not as if she says no,
yeah.
she knows no, but how do you learn about consent as a man? Like, where were you taught? Did your father teach you? Was it your uncle? Was it friends at school? How did you learn the difference between yes and no from a woman? How to deal and have permission and negotiate her body? How did you learn those things? And we revere education in this country, and consent and issues around sex and sexuality should be part of that education. And so change the conversation is simply saying, engaging men in having the conversation and inviting all of the media stakeholders to be part of the conversation.
What will that mean? Will that necessarily mean a complete reduction in, defilement cases, for instance?
It would be an absolute beginning, because part of how you perpetuate ideas around issues of defilement is how you talk about it. How you talk about it, how you write about it, the images that you see about it. Media has a powerful role to play. It's not the only role, but it has a powerful role. And since media is my passion as well as my business, I'm saying, what role can media play in changing the conversation? That's why it's called Change the Conversation.
Just recap for us, when is this conversation happening? Where is it happening?
Yes.
How much does it cost to come and sit in that audience if you're going for the women only one in the morning or the other one in the evening?
So the beauty is it's completely free, but you must register. So it's called Reimagine, and it's tomorrow, Wednesday, June 15th. So if you're coming to the morning, that's Vision Breakfast at Webster University, Ghana, in Cantonments, just near the American Embassy, where I'm a lecturer. And really,
lecturer there?
Yes, and I'm a media lecturer there. And Webster is really innovative in pushing these kinds of innovative conversations. So if you're looking to study, that's a place where you might want to think about going.
Okay.
So Vision Breakfast is there. You register for free. The number is 026-468-5011. You can just WhatsApp your name, and if you're studying, where are you studying? Media comms. If you're a lecturer, if you're working in the media, that's what you do. Change the conversation. That's in the evening, 6 p.m. sharp.
Same venue.
No, Elisa Hotel.
Aha.
That's at Elisa Hotel,
Okay.
6 p.m. sharp. Again, you have to register. It's free, but you must register. Same number, 026-468-5011. So register, grab your seat, and make sure you come and engage the conversation. We're talking to the media.
Like a radio host, and then I realized that you are a radio,
am a
host.
radio
So your
host.
show is called The Spin.
My show
It's
is
a
called The
weekly
Spin.
talk show.
It is a weekly talk show, and I'm very passionate about being Ghanaian and also talking to the world. In the same way, so many of us are interested and engage in and watch things like CNN or BBC. I mean, I was a BBC journalist for a long time, and so I'm very passionate about being able to create international content right here at home. And that's what The Spin is about. And it's also actually an all-women
Okay.
show.
It's online somewhere?
Good
It's online.
conversation.
Okay. I'll look for it.
You should.
All right. Esther.
As should your viewers.
Thank you very much, Esther.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll support you.
You will.
definitely.
Yes, I hope to see you there.
Yeah.
Not in the
All right.
morning, in the evening.
Okay, all right. So, well, it's still GH Today with your TV Royals, live on GH1 TV and around the world at gh1tv.com. So, homeopathy is expanding in Ghana, apparently. I don't know if you know more about that, but that conversation coming up in a bit. And then, of course, everything entertainment and more.